All right, welcome back to another video, guys. This right here, I'm gonna talk about my trade for this week and how I made a lot of profit on EuroCAD among other pairs like British Pound JPY and NZD JPY. We're also going to talk a little bit about NFP day, which is today, and how to control your emotions and how to deal with that day. It comes out on the first Friday, that first week, that first Friday every month. It comes out, and it's always a heavy, impactful day in the trading market. It's why every trader really got to understand what they're looking for on days like this right here. But coming into my trade on EuroCAD, you can see how far it pushed to the top side off of that same entry I went over in the previous video. We got it for the buy right here on the 29th of November, and it pushed all the way to the top side, and it's still doing that right now. Understand that holding out your trades is so very important, or simply understanding how to manage your trade once you're into it. Okay, because this right here is really the defining factor if you're going to profit or are you going to lose that trade. If you're able to control your emotions, not trade aggressively, not take so many lots out at one time, and simply just look for the best, meaningful, profitable trade that you can find, that's how you're going to make your money. If you're seeing this trade right here, right, you can see how we started right here for the buy, and it pushed all the way to the top side just to come right back down to their entry. Now, this right here is often very hard to manage for some traders, because once they see it pull back a little bit, they get very nervous and very anxious, and they start to close out their trade and making irrational decisions very, very quickly in the market, right? And you can see here, by not doing anything at all, even though it came back to your entry, you were still correct, right? We got it for the buy right here, and it came exactly back to that same exact point and went right back up. So you was correct, but in many situations, when anybody see a pullback on their trade, they get nervous and they close out their trade way too early, and you cannot be that way. You got to really control your emotions and not look at a single bar or a single move in the market at a totality of your trade, right? You got to be very patient and just see it for what it is. When we got it for the buy right here, you could have taken profit up here, and that's no problem, right? This is all the factor if you want to hold out your trade longer. And the reason for that is like you're able to make a lot of money without doing barely any work. You don't have to force yourself to trade every single day. And that's the key point of holding out your trade. Instead of taking 5 trades at 20 per pip, I can take one trade that goes for over 150 pips or 200 pips. It's the same thing, but it's a lot less work to deal with and a lot less stress on your part and your emotion. Holding out your trade, I cannot stress this enough, is the main way you're going to profit and look for great trades. Look how long this buy been lasting. You could have bought it at any given time and you would have been in profit. Think about that, right? Any given time you would have bought this in the past few weeks, you would have been in profit right now because it's just simply going for a buy. Right here, the 15th, right here, the 22nd, right here, the 25th, right here, the 29th. You had so many chances to get it for a buy on this pair. And like I said, that's really how simple it is. You don't have to overthink this stuff. Lean more into how can I manage this trade? What is the key factor if I want to pull out? What's the key factor if I want to close out in profit or close out before it comes to my stop loss and this and that? That's the main situation you got to deal with when it becomes a trader. You can see how right now, this was the past level, this was the past level. So since it broke above there, it can pull back to the same level and continue to the top side. And that's what I'm going to be looking for, right? I can hold out my first entry and wait for the next best one to get into once again and trade the same pair, but even making more money. That's also another big way you can have less stress on yourself by trading the same pair day after day after day, if not week after week after week. You could have been trading EuroCAD for a long time now and just simply been buying it, right? for a long time. Think about that. This is not that complicated. You slow down, take a breather, and just see the market for what it's showing you. Simple breakout, simple pullback, breakout, pullback. It's a simple trend, right? Breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback. Like, it's just that simple. You're seeing that exactly right here. So knowing how to take your time and being patient in the market and holding out your trade is crucial. I cannot stress that enough, how simple it is to simply buy your trade or sell your trade, walk away, not touch it unless it comes back to your stop loss or about to approach your stop loss. That's the really only reason you got to touch your trade or close out, right? Any other factor, control your emotions, allow your trade to make the money for you. Now, next, right, let's go a little bit into the DXY and see how that's doing as well, okay? Because we did talk a little bit about this as far as in the previous video, and you can see it did exactly what we said. It broke below, it pulled back, and is heading even further to the downside. So in this right here, be the next level of support and resistance as far as this level here around 105.25, right? Around 105.25 or 105.10, this key level, if it breaks below here and pulls back, as we said last time, it can continue even further to the downside, and the DXY will continue to keep on falling, okay? But keep in mind, we do have a lot of fundamentals. I said today, the fundamentals are going to affect the DXY today as far as NFP, unemployment rates, and things like that. Like I said, NFP is always a heavy, big day for the market. We can look at unemployment. They predict to be 3.7. If it comes out greater or less than that, right, it's going to be a key factor for the market. If it comes out less than forecast, right, so if it comes out less than forecast, it will be good for USD. If it come out more than forecast, it will be bad for USD. That means unemployment is on the rise, right? If it comes out more than 3.7, right, which is not good for the currency. But these are a few different things you got to keep in mind of what to look for. And you see how this right here is forecast to be 200K when previously it was at 261. That's a big drop from the previous one, right? And you see greater than forecast is good for currency. See this right here, they're predicting a huge drop from the previous numbers in the previous data, which could be bad for the currency depending on what number comes out. If it comes out greater than 200K, greater than what they forecast, it could be good for the currency. But if it comes out even less than that, it's going to be really bad. Because you see the previous was 261, what happened previously actual, and it came out now at 200K. There's a lot less, right, as far as unemployment change, okay? So really understand these different fundamentals that can affect the market, especially the DXY. Even though we are fundamental traders, even though we're not fundamental traders, we are technical analysis, price action traders. We're not always looking at fundamentals nonstop, right? We purely look at price action to define our entry, but use fundamentals as some kind of pivot point to understand what's exactly going on overall, right? You got to be very simple when your approach to trading. If it seems complicated, don't take it. Trading is not hard whatsoever once you learn a few things in the market to simply look for, okay? You see my other trade on British pound JPY as well. And this trade also went all the way to the downside. I wish I would have held out this trade a little bit longer because it would have made great money. But this is also another point what I mean about managing your trade, right? Or understanding when to close out or why you want to close out. There's really no wrong and right answer. It's always just your simple reason or your simple explaining of yourself or why you want to get out of this trade. You see how I first entered this trade right around here, and it came to the downside, and I went ahead and closed out. That's decent profit, right? It came here, went all the way to the downside 1 second, came here, went all the way down here, about 147 pips. That's a decent amount. You're making a lot of money with 147 pips. But you can see from there, it pulled back to my entry twice, right? Came back down, pulled back to the entry, came back down all the way here. So either you got to hold out your trade, like I said, and not be nervous about that pullback or the pullback in the market if it doesn't come to your stop loss, or if you're okay with taking the 157 pips, which you should be okay with taking that. 157 pips is a lot. You feel me? So it's okay to take that and not hold out so long. But if you want to, you see what would have happened, right? You would have made even more profit. Like I said, that's the key thing. If you want to hold out your trade, really, really understand you can do so. You don't have to close out within the next second or even the next day in most cases. Simply find your entry, take your trade, and just simply see what's going to happen next, right? It can only go up, it can only go down. So it can only hit your stop loss, and you're only going to lose exactly how much you want to lose, or it's going to come down to your TP and you're going to make a crazy amount of money. It's just them two simple things. It's going to come to your stop loss or go to your TP. That's really all you can think about. It's not really a complicated thing, right? It's not a bunch of things going on here. Either this is going to happen or this is going to happen. You don't want to overcomplicate it at all. But like I said before, if you do see a valuable reason of closing out your trade that you feel is fit to do so, go ahead and do it. The name of the game is taking profit, right? You got to be consistent. You got to take profit, which is why when I saw it came down here, right, I took the 157. There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. You can take that profit and go on to your next trade and look for the next best one, or you could have simply re-enter. I can take my profit at 157. If it pulls back here, I can decide to re-enter at the same level I entered in the past, and it comes all the way back down, make even more money. When it pulls back there once again, I can enter the same way I did twice before, and it pulls all the way back down, and I make more money. So you see what I mean by there's different ways to enter the market. It's really all about understanding your way and how you want to do it and what's the best way for you. But this week, guys, has been a great week in the market. There's definitely been a lot of great pairs. We can look at Euro USD, how it's been pushing all the way to the top side off the breakout and pullback. And things like this could be a little bit complicated to trade if you're a new trader, but it's really just that simple, right? You have breakout, you have pullback, that's the buy. It's really just that simple when you're using price action. This is the past level, correct? It breaks out, huge pullback to this previous level, right? Breaks out once more, pull back to this previous level, and you can see the morning started even happen on the daily, going down to the 8-hour. You can see the breakout pullback. This right here is 9 a.m. in the morning. Right here, this bar right here is 9 a.m. in the morning when I get into the market on November 30th. And you see from that entry, we're going to be in profit right now. That's how simple trading really is. All you're doing is taking your time and seeing which scenario is going to best fit that case, right? So you're seeing this breakout, pullback, most likely is going to push up, right? That's kind of key factor. Now, all you got to do is be patient and make a decision to go for that buy. And like I said, we know how the DXY been falling, so we already predicted that Euro USD was going to keep on going up. And the same thing with British pound USD, right? British pound USD did the same exact thing. We have the previous level, we have the breakout, we have the pullback, and that's your buy. Boom. Just that simple, right? No overthinking, no pressure, breakout, pullback, price action pattern, boom. You buy your trade. Just that easy. And the same thing goes for a sell. If it would have broke below, pull back, boom, you sell your trade. But this stuff, guys, I cannot stress enough how simple it is, right? You've seen the past, breakout, pullback, and shot up. It did the same thing. Breakout, pullback, and shot up, right? These are very simple setups. So all you got to do, guys, is know how to hold out your trade. Take your time, be patient, trust in yourself, understand you know what you're looking for, you know what you're doing, and also start building that guideline for your exit reasons, or also how to manage in a way you want to manage your trade. Do you want to close out here, or what reason do you want to do that for, right? It's all them very simple things like that that can make it go long term in a trading market. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I'll see you next video, guys. Have a great weekend.